Good afternoon and welcome to Fort Worth, where 10 minutes ago, 4 F-35s from Luke Air Force Base entered our Bull Stadium airspace, roughly 15 miles to our west. We welcome in lead pilot Major Josh Arkey from the 61st Fighter Squadron up in the cockpit. Major Arkey, how's everything looking?
Howdy, Dave. Things look great from here. It's a perfect day for football. I can see the stadium on the horizon and the flyover as it goes.
In that case, I'll let you take it from here.
Thanks, Dave. Today I'll be leading four of the world's most sophisticated stealth fighters, America's F-35 Viking II. We're from the 56th Fighter Wing in Glendale, Arizona, and we are proud to serve our nation and perform today's flyover of the Armed Forces Bowl in honor of our nation's servicemen and women. That's the front of the Cal Bears, and as a 2004 graduate, that's the front to the Air Force Academy Fighting Falcons.
What a way to start. Welcome to the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl as a part of Capital One Bowl Mania from chilly Fort Worth, Texas. Our matchup out of the Mountain West, the Falcons of the Air Force Academy. From the Pac-12, the Golden Bears of the University of California and their star quarterback, Jered Goff. Hi, everybody. Welcome here to Fort Worth. Dave Fleming alongside Mike Bellotti. Allison Williams is with us as well. Really cool flyover. We had paratroopers before the game. Now we get what we figure will be a heck of a football game. Total contrast in styles. Cal's going to be chucking it all over the field, led by one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Jered Goff.
Jered Goff, probable first-round draft choice compared to Aaron Rodgers. The reality is he's as good as anybody out there. He's got a quick release, great stroke on the ball, great command right now of this offense, knows where to go, works on his feet all the time. You see him moving around there. The feet are always moving. He's got a tremendous sense of the pocket. You can see him here eluding the rush. He finds ways to get rid of the ball, ways to make positive things. He and his receivers are always on the same page. You see his eyes working through his progression there. He's talked about some of the things he needs to work on, not throwing off that back foot, the right foot, especially to his right side. He's continuing to work, but young player, started as a true freshman, and just setting records every time he takes the field.
So Jered Goff and company, and what will almost certainly be his final game at Cal. It's been a record-setting career, 4,000-plus yards, 37 touchdowns this year. And we mentioned the contrasted styles. Troy Calhoun's Air Force Academy, they will run the ball with the triple option. That is what they do. For more on that, well, we'll wait till after kickoff because we are ready to go here. From Fort Worth, Texas, the Cal Bears won the toss. They have deferred, so we're going to see that triple option right away. They run the ball about as much as anybody in the country. Cal throws it about as much as anybody. Both offenses very productive. And we do expect to see a lot of points here on what has turned into a chilly but nice day in Fort Worth. And our Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl is underway. A short kickoff and returnable for Air Force. In fact, a nice return outside the 30 to the 32-yard line. And now we will welcome in Allison Williams.
Hey there, Dave. Air Force runs that triple option, an offense often used to be an equalizer against opponents that are faster and stronger. Well, Air Force offensive coordinator Mike Thiessen said that Cal is bigger and stronger than anyone they have faced this year. So it's not enough to just run the offense. They have to execute it at a very high level. That means paying attention to all the details, coming off the ball hard, leaning forward earlier. Everything they do must be executed with as much physicality and speed as possible to have success against this Cal defense.
All right, good stuff, Allison. And Carson Roberts, the senior from the state of Texas, is the quarterback, and he has been since the early parts of this year, and he's really grown into the starting quarterback role. And we will see an immediate dive play straight up the middle for a nice gain for Air Force.
Surprise, surprise, the dive play. Jacoby Owens carrying the ball, and he is the guy that we believe is going to be the impact player. They're going to run the dive. The option is based on that. On the other side of the ball, Hardy Nickerson is the guy, inside linebacker, over 100 tackles this year, has to stop the dive.
So our impact players brought to you by the U.S. Navy. And now Roberts under center. Fakes the dive, and another pitch. McVay, a little more running room this time, to the 45-yard line. Time to take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Lockheed Martin.
And the keys to the game for Cal are basically stop the dive. We said that earlier. Play clean, which means catch the ball and limit turnovers. Flipping it for Air Force, they have to sustain drives with controlled tempo. They've got to take time off the clock. They have to make sure they don't allow any big explosion plays to that Cal offense, and they got to get pressure on Jered Goff, get him off his mark.
Well, for Air Force, this counts as a 3rd and long. 3rd and 6. And that's not what this offense is totally equipped to do from the shotgun. And Roberts is going to keep it and get the first down and much more into Cal territory. All the way down to the 40-yard line, first down, Air Force.
And one of the things you're going to find, no matter what the formation, no matter what the down and distance, there is no obvious pass situation. Air Force can run it at any time, at quarterback run, option. They will throw the ball, but they're very efficient in trying to throw that football.
So that was 14 yards and a 3rd down conversion for the Falcons. On the move to start the game. And as soon as they get that first down, they do slow the tempo up.
Yeah, they vary the tempo. They'll go fast sometimes when they feel they've got somebody on their heels, but they can also slow it down.
A dive to Owens with a spin move to get a couple of yards, and they'll spot him forward for a gain of 3.
Nice job by Jacoby Owens that time, being patient. Sometimes that dive is right over the center. Sometimes it moves out one hole. It's going to depend a lot on how the line blocking is, but they're going to change it. One of the things from a defensive standpoint, you've got to stop the dive, and you've got to vary who takes the quarterback and who takes the pitch on the edge.
And he is an interesting player. You see the numbers, over 1,000 yards for a 2nd straight year. He has been more of a tailback in the past because of all the injuries at the fullback position. You're used to seeing a bigger player at that spot of the triple option. He's just about 200 pounds, and yet he's been very effective. The pitch play, that's Garrett Brown. Brown, a big gain to the 20, to the 15.
One of the issues when you play an option team like Air Force is finding out how fast they're going to run it at the beginning of the game. The first couple series are a heck of a matchup issue because you got to decide how quickly it happens and make sure that you see the cut block down the field there, because that's what they do. They're going to take and not chop block, but cut block below the knees. That allows a smaller team like Air Force to compete against bigger opponents.
That was 23 yards on that one. It's the tight end Griffin goes in motion. Roberts will hand the ball off. And close to the goal line, but not quite there. Timothy McVeigh stopped maybe a half a yard short.
And interesting, we talk about the multiplicity of what Air Force does. There they line up in a power I attack, and so they can run the option, they can run traditional power plays, and rarely do they do it, though, against somebody who they feel is as big or stronger than they are. So I'm surprised they've gone away from the option at this point, but with the ball at the 6-inch line, you can see anything here.
Now, this is the part of the field where you tend to see a little bit more of that from Air Force. We've got Owens essentially as a lone fullback. And they'll give it to Owens left side, and he finds his way in. Touchdown, Air Force. Well, what a start for the Falcons. Exactly the way they would have drawn it up. A long drive, keep it on the ground, and punch it in for 6.
No question. Take time off the clock, get a touchdown. That is Troy Calhoun's plan for the day.
So the perfect start for Air Force with an extra point coming. Strable, the place kicker. 11 plays, 68 yards. 6 minutes and 27 seconds off the clock. The extra point is up and good.
Well, you can see this is just a slight slant off the outside. They're going to try to get in that end zone with power. Nice job of reading it by Jacoby. Get the touchdown to go ahead.
Well, we hope you saw our flyover coverage from the opening of our telecast. The paratroopers also came in pregame, part of this great Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, where a big part of it is not just celebrating the football players on the field, but our armed forces around this country and all over the world. And how fitting that the Air Force Academy is part of this game. They've been here many times before. They love being here in Fort Worth. And they must love the start they've had. Air Force off to a 7-0 lead against Cal from the Pac-12 after a nice long opening game drive. Now a shorter kickoff will be returnable for Trevor Davis to the 25 with room to the 30, and gets out to the 35, where Jered Goff and the Cal offense will take the field for the first time.
And Jered Goff, only a junior, but one of the best pure passers in the nation. We talked about being a probable first-round draft choice if it goes out, and a much better leader this year for his team. He does it all. He's got every type of throw, but he's got an uncanny awareness in the pocket, and he's a better scrambler when necessary than you would think.
So in a way, I think it's a bittersweet day for Cal fans because it could well, almost certainly is the last time they will see Jered Goff, who has been such a big part of this program's revival. Almost certainly his last game at Cal, and hoping to lead the Bears to a bowl win, their first bowl since 2011. And Goff throwing on first down. Nice catch by one of his many talented targets. That's Maurice Harris.
He's got a ton of targets, and they're all on the same page. They started the 5 senior wide receivers right there as a tribute to them. I think they put that in the paper so Air Force at least knew what the first play was going to be. Didn't help, though.
Tony Franklin, the offensive coordinator, they've got a very talented receiving corps and a lot of experience. 5 seniors all on the field at the same time. And now on second down, they will hand the ball off to Trey Watson with a big gain across midfield. Watson all the way down to the 30 and inside the 30. He'll be spotted at the Air Force 29. So it's not all about the pass game. Cal can run the ball a little bit too.
They're very simplistic in their approach. This outside zone play is one of the staples of what they do. Great job by the offensive line, reach blocking and getting the running back untouched to the outside. The speed factor is going to scare Air Force today.
That's 33 yards on the ground for Watson, who has really emerged late in the year for Cal. They play fake to Watson right over the middle, and maybe a little too much on that pass, although Bryce Treggs had a chance. Now here comes a flag. Weston Steelhammer, who is one of Air Force's most important players, and I think Air Force could be a little nervous as to what this penalty is.
And he's also one of the biggest hitters. He's right on the edge sometimes, and when that receiver is defenseless as he was, it's going to be either a unnecessary roughness
personal
penalty
foul,
or something.
targeting on the defense,
And
number 8.
Targeting
No, I don't see any helmet-to-helmet contact. It looked like it was a strike with the left shoulder. Let's take a look. Well, their heads, the helmets do bump, and based on what I've seen sometimes in these bowl games, remember, when in question, it is a foul if there is a question about it. So I'm not sure how I can call this one. Could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, watching that, I'm thinking the call is going to be upheld. And
Yeah.
if it is, Weston Steelhammer is maybe their most important player on defense. He's the leader in the secondary, first team all-conference, and it didn't take him long to review.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 8 is
confirmed, and
disqualified
that
from the
means
contest.
Weston
That's a
Steelhammer, just a
15-yard
handful
penalty.
of plays
First
into this
down.
game, will be done for the rest of the day. Wow, that is huge for Air Force.
Yeah, that deals a severe blow to Air Force in terms of what they probably want to do today, because part of pressuring Jered Goff is going to be putting the safeties in either man-to-man or really zone situations where they've got to read, and he's their most experienced and their biggest playmaker in that secondary.
And now without their best safety and best playmaker in the secondary for basically the whole game. Pressure comes, Goff lobs one to the end zone, and it's incomplete.
That's incomplete.
Well, Darius Powell was there, and for a moment it looked to me like he almost slowed up a little bit.
I think he lost the ball. I think actually he was starting to turn, and the ball was thrown with great trajectory. Nice job by Goff, because they brought pressure, unblocked man right in his face. He tossed it up there, and I think had he continued to run and just stride through that, he'd be able to get it. But
Well, the
Powell
coverage,
get another shot.
the coverage, Mike, was from Tyler Weaver, who has essentially replaced Weston Steelhammer, just ejected from the game because of the targeting penalty. And the coverage wasn't great. Now an open receiver. It's Powell, makes the catch right around the 5, very close to a first down.
One thing about this Cal offense, you're always going to see the play fake one way or the other, and they can run it or he can throw it, and he's in tremendous simpatico with his receivers in terms of the timing of it.
On 3rd and inches, they give it to the fullback, and they'll get the first down. It'll be 1st and goal. And the fullback is essentially one of their other tailbacks, Vic Enweri, who, as you mentioned, he has played well.
Yeah, and at 6'1", 230 pounds, he could be a fullback in some people's offense.
They have another fullback who's going to come in the game here, number 99, who's about 100 pounds heavier.
Fullback is a great description of his body size.
Yeah, he fills up
He
the
might be
backfield.
2.5 backs.
Goff again hands it off, and Wary, end zone touchdown. Well, a nice answer for the Bears after Air Force scores on its first drive. Cal answers an extra point away from tying the game.
And we talked about Sonny Dykes knew that he has to match scores, because with Air Force, if they score, they take a lot of time off the clock, and you're going to get fewer opportunities today. So he's got to take advantage of every possession. Great job by the offensive line. Huge hole on the right side. You and I probably could have scored on that play.
Maybe.
Maybe.
7 plays, 65 yards, mostly on the ground for Cal. Matt Anderson, the sophomore place kicker, with the extra point. Up and good. We expect offense. We've had some offense. And the handoff, and Wary for the first touchdown of the game for the Bears. It's 7-7. Both coaches, Sonny Dykes, Troy Calhoun, got a chance to get in that F-35 simulator during their trip here to Texas over at the Lockheed Martin Aeronautics plant here in Fort Worth. Coach Calhoun, who is himself an Air Force graduate, not sure that was the cleanest approach for Coach Calhoun, but anyway, just a simulator.
He's just a little bit out of practice on that.
Yeah, it's been a while. 7-7, and Air Force with the kick return. Nice return for Tyler Williams outside the 30. That's where Air Force will start. Air Force with the ball for the second time. Both teams scoring touchdowns on their first drives. And a keeper for the quarterback, Carson Roberts. A gain of 1.
That first possession, actually, Air Force surprised me. They only ran 3 dives out of 15 plays, but they pitched the ball outside 5 of those times and had great success getting to the outside against a Cal defense that runs pretty well. So it'll be interesting to see. Cal now should have a sense of how fast it's going to happen. You would hope to see some improvement from the defense in this drive.
2nd and 9. With Owens at fullback behind Roberts. They fake it to him, and they're going to throw the ball for the first time in the game. Taking a deep shot, and a jump ball, really incomplete, knocked away. Intended for Jalen Robinette. Let's send it down to Allison Williams.
Dave, to Mike's point, Cal defensive coordinator Kaufman told us that the option will be a foreign language to our kids, and he was interested to see how they do the first couple series, how they adjust to the speed of the game, learning what they need to do based on what Air Force does. I will tell you, when this Cal defense came to the sideline, there was a lot of conversation, players talking amongst themselves about what they are seeing, coaches reminding them of their keys based on formation, what to do if Air Force overloads. So a lot of adjustments already taking place early in this game.
And now a 3rd and 9, trying to force an Air Force punt. Roberts in the pocket with a lot of time. Now on the move, he will throw the ball away. So good adjustments from Cal as they'll force the 3 and out.
Yeah, not the strength of Air Force. 3rd and 9, trying to throw the football in standard drop back mode. That is what Cal defense wants to force. The other thing is, Jalen Robinette is their big play guy. He's been shut out for 2 straight games, and the one pass play we saw earlier was really, he was not open, but they trust him to go up and get the ball. He's one of the best athletes on that team.
So Strable, who is the place kicker and also the punter for Air Force. With Trevor Davis back to return, fair catch signal. He makes it at around the 34-yard line. So Jered Goff and the Cal offense back on the field when we come back. Well, great scene outside the home of TCU. We're here in Fort Worth on the campus of TCU for this Armed Forces Bowl. 7-7 the score, first quarter, 4:39 to go. Dave Fleming, Mike Bellotti, Allison Williams with you. And the Air Force band in full effect as the Cal offense is out on the field for the second time. Both teams scoring touchdowns on their first drives, but Air Force's second drive was a 3 and out. So now Cal has the ball back with Jered Goff on the field.
And he hasn't had to do much. They've been able to run the ball very efficiently in that first drive.
Only 1 wide receiver on this formation. That's pretty unusual for Cal. They will hand it off straight ahead with Watson, who is stopped after a gain of a couple of yards. And our impact player is brought to you by the U.S. Navy when Cal's got the ball.
Well, it's Kenny Lawler, the receiver with great range, over 10 touchdowns this year. And on the flip side, Alex Hansen, the energy provider for that Air Force defense, has to make sure he gets Jered Goff off the mark so he can't throw the ball to Kenny Lawler.
But part of what Air Force does on defense, they do bring a lot of pressure. They are a very aggressive defense. And Hansen's a big part of that. They'll rush just 3 here on second down. Goff over the middle. Perfect delivery for a first down into Air Force territory.
The Air Force defense has talked all year that they've got to change. They have to vary the pressure. Here you see only a 3-man rush, which means they've got maximum drop, but Goff is such a great quarterback and has great touch. He puts the ball right over the underneath defender.
Quickly Goff in the shotgun. Will throw and taking a shot toward the end zone. Triggs, touchdown. What a pass from Jered Goff. And his senior teammate hangs on this time. 30 yards. It's 13-7.
That was pretty quick, and that's a mismatch. The speed of the Cal receivers in space against the secondary of Air Force. If you can't pressure Goff, you've got to change up the looks back there. But also, it's nice to give Trey another chance to redeem himself. Dropped a touchdown pass earlier, makes a very nice catch on that from a great throw.
Man, you want to know why Jered Goff could be a top 5 draft pick in the NFL in a couple of months? To me, that throw is a reason why.
Well, yes, his touch, and that's what we've talked about a lot, is he can throw every type of pass.
That was spectacular. So after the good field position, Cal, a couple plays, takes advantage big time.
Watch over here. We're going to get a deep pass right there. And one of the things is it's one-on-one situation. It doesn't really matter. Here he gets the move there and does this a deep corner route. And the more you have a guy beat, the deeper you set your angle as a wide receiver. And this one perfectly thrown over the top. Nice catch right in the breadbasket.
Final 2 seconds of the first quarter. We did figure we'd see some big plays. Air Force almost dares you with the way they play defense to take deep shots.
Well, they have to. They're trying to put pressure on, and so they're going to be caught in man-to-man situations. Sometimes they do zone pressure, sometimes, but more often man pressure.
McVay, the returner this time. McVay out into the open, sort of stumbled there. Maybe some extra yards if he hadn't done that. Still, though, Air Force will have good field position when we come back to Fort Worth. It's the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, celebrating our servicemen and women and celebrating football from 2 good programs at the end of quarter number 1. It's Cal 14, Air Force 7. In Fort Worth, the Stockyards, a popular place to visit. All the historic walking tours, the shops. You got the, well, now we were talking to Mac Brown, Mike, last night. He told us if you say the word Longhorns on the campus of TCU, it gets you in trouble.
You might be in trouble, yeah.
Well, those are definitely Longhorns.
I'm
Cal and Air Force.
glad you said the word. I didn't say the word.
Dave Fleming, Mike Bellotti, Allison Williams on a cool Texas day. And California with their star quarterback Jered Goff, a tremendous touchdown pass on Cal's last drive, leading 14-7. Air Force having a hard time getting that triple option going. The Cal defense, after the first drive of the game, has been impressive.
We talked about the fact that they would figure it out in the first drive or two, basically the speed of the game, what you need to do when they start to understand their assignments, what's happening. It's incumbent now on Air Force to change this thing up. They went with some pitches early in the first drive that were successful. They've been sticking more to the inside game lately that has not given them positive results.
So their senior quarterback playing his final game, Carson Roberts, will drop back to pass. They're going to take another shot downfield. They have a man open. Nice delivery. A first down. Garrett Brown, the first completion through the air for Air Force. One thing about this team, they don't throw much. When they do throw, they take shots down the field.
They're over 150 in passing efficiency as a team, and part of the reason is the play action pass. Here they get the wheel out of the backfield, which is very difficult when your eyes are looking into the offensive line, quarterback, fullback exchange. You tend to lose the guys sneaking out of the backfield.
That was 23 yards. That's right around their average per completion for the year. So they take shots down the field. First down, Air Force. Owens with a more traditional running style play. You mentioned that, how they mix it up. A nice gain for Air Force.
One of the things that, and I think the 3 service academies lead the nation in yards per pass attempt, which no surprise because they run it, Air Force, Navy, Army, and then Baylor. Surprise, surprise. The reality is the play action pass off of the option is one of the best type of play actions you can have.
So per attempt, per completion, however you break it down, when they do throw the ball, they get big chunks through the air against defenses geared up to stop the ground game. Now that triple option look, pitch, McVay with a blocker in front. McVay inside the 20, tripped up at about the 16-yard line by Trey Turner, the true freshman, who may well have saved a touchdown. That's a gain of 12.
And one of the things that happens, too, if you complete one of those passes, it makes the people in the secondary be a little softer. They have to take a second now to react. They don't react as quickly to the run, so they're not quite as good in run support.
That was a heck of a block, too, by the guy who caught the pass a couple plays earlier, Garrett Brown.
They have to do both or they don't get to play.
You don't play if you don't block at wide receiver at Air Force. Another pitch play. This time to the left side, and another good gain, and a touchdown, Air Force. That's Tyler Williams.
Nice response by Air Force coaching staff and the offensive players on the field. It all starts with Carson Roberts. He makes the decisions, puts them in the right play, and then executes the pitch, which is just like a throwing pass for a throwing quarterback.
Well, I think you said it. As soon as they completed one pass, things changed against the option.
Well, and they find what happens too with Air Force. Once they find out what you're doing, they start to tailor their game plan to take advantage of where they can attack you with either the dive or the outside plays.
Brown had the big block to play earlier. Timothy McVeigh, the tailback, had a great block on that play. So what a response for Air Force after Cal's defense had toughened up. The Falcons use that option to tie the game at 14. So Air Force has tied the game 14-14. And they will kick it back to California. Now toward the sideline, but it stays in bounds. So Davis has to pick it up. Davis gets hit hard right around the 20-yard line. First down after that completion. Pressure coming, and Goff gets rid of it and somehow completes it. That's not going to be a big gain, but that was a virtual miracle that Goff could even get the pass off. Jack Floor was there with pressure right in his face.
And that was a great job by Air Force in creating the pressure, but Goff escaping it and then getting a completion, positive yardage on that play to set up, you know, a manageable, well, 2nd and 8, but it could have been very, very bad back then.
14-14, under 9 minutes to go in the first half. And they will hand the ball off. Watson with a nice hole. Watson to the 45 and even beyond. Finally pushed out of bounds. The ball came out at the end, but he was well out of bounds. So a nice gain of 18 yards on the ground.
And that outside zone is the staple of Cal's running attack. And it's just reach blocks by the entire line. It comes off, and there's always a play fake. Goff, after the handoff, will toss the ball or fake like he's throwing the ball down the field.
1st and 10. They give it to Watson again. Another nice hole. Watson into Air Force territory. Stopped at about the 46, gain of 6.
Feels like they're going back to that first drive and really trying to mix in even run or 2 runs to a pass to keep that Air Force defense honest and not allow the blitz to be a factor.
And they are going quick tempo here. 2nd and 4. Air Force jumps. So this is a free shot for Goff. It is caught one-hand style. What a throw and what a catch. Maurice Harris along the sideline, and I think he caught it just purely one-handed.
No question. He just snatched that ball out of the air. This was a free play. Typically, free play, you're going to go deep. So look at it from this angle. This ball is hung up in the air, and then, yeah, it's one. He just tipped it back to himself, tiptoed the sideline, and Cal is set up down at the 5.
Tremendous play. So the penalty was against Air Force, obviously declined. 40 yards to set up 1st and goal. That was spectacular. And that's what you want, right? When you have that free shot, go for it.
There's no question. That's what you've got to do.
Throwing on 1st and goal. Touchdown. Goff to Darius Powell.
And the success of the run game is what sets up that play. That's the same fake in terms of that outside zone. Everybody's running to the right, and the receiver just sneaks back beyond the linebackers who are trying to get their fill inside to stop the run.
2nd catch for Powell, his 1st touchdown. Cal goes back in front.
Nice job. Some of those things look very, very easy, but part of it's because of the touch of Jered Goff.
No fake on the point after try. The kick is up and good. So Goff, he knew he had a free shot. He went down the sideline, and one play later into the end zone to Powell. It's 21-14. Well, cool moment while we were away. Staff Sergeant Blake Coney back from Germany to surprise his family here over the holidays. His mom, his grandmom, his brother here. Sergeant Coney, who's been in the U.S. Air Force for 8 years and tours of duty all over the world, currently stationed in Germany. Those never get old. Family back together. Part of this Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl from Fort Worth, as Cal will kick it off very short. McVeigh will return it to the 25. Hit hard and the ball comes out. The ball's loose. And Air Force may well have recovered it. Cal had a player right in the neighborhood. But the Falcons get a break as they pounce on the ball. Nearly a turnover. Instead, Air Force will get the ball back. So 1st and 10. And the ball comes out again. This time after the fake dive, Roberts, the quarterback, tried to get it back, but he could not. So a near turnover on the kickoff return. This time, Cal, first play from scrimmage. Kyle Cragen comes up with the football, and the Bears do get it.
Art Kaufman talked about the fact that they need to not penetrate too much, stay on the line of scrimmage, make them read us, and that what happens, get the big hand inside there, knock it out. Marcus Manley doing a great job of seeing the ball and just swiping it out of the quarterback's hands as he tried to get it back to make the pitch.
Well, that is a big, big play in this game. After Cal goes ahead, now they get great field position. First turnover on either side. With still 7:24 to go until halftime. But the Bears are in prime scoring position with Roberts and the Air Force offense back on the sideline.
Opportunity now for Cal down here to go up by 2 scores, and that's huge against a team that doesn't score quickly in Air Force.
Almost a pistol formation, a play fake. Goff has taken a shot, and the pass is right there. Touchdown. Kenny Lawler, his 11th touchdown of the year. One play after the turnover. Goff and Cal, 24 yards to extend the lead.
And they didn't waste any time. That is a perfect throw, and Kenny Lawler has range as a receiver. He's a guy you love to throw the ball to because he's going to catch it wherever it is. He's got athleticism, he's got decent speed, he's got size, which creates a tough matchup for the secondary of Air Force.
3rd touchdown pass of the first half for Jered Goff. Extra point is up and good. Well, we asked Goff about his many targets. He's got so many options. He said, well, they all have different skills, but the guy I love to go to in the red zone is this guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That range, and that's a perfectly thrown ball over the top of the defending corner, away from the safety, dropping it down in that, what I talk about, the basket. The basket, is, they have to reach for it. It's right there to be caught.
Now the kick return, it's Owens who will bring it back for Air Force across the 30, jumping high with some extra yardage. As I said, Owens, it was Brian Driscoll, number 22, came back there with McVeigh, perhaps still dinged up after the big hit on the last kickoff return. 7:07 to go in the first half. Still a long way to go in this game. They do get McVeigh back in the game, so that's good news for the Falcons, but this is not a come-from-behind team.
Right, and they can't change their game plan. They're going to try to do what they do, take time off the clock, try and get a score right here, get it down to a 1-possession game, hopefully not leave any time for Cal to score. So getting back to what they do, mix it up, quarterback carrying the ball, let's pitch it outside, let's run the dive to keep the defense honest.
One of the best keep plays for Carson Roberts in this game, a gain of 8 or so on first down. Goff still on the sideline after a 1-play drive. Didn't have to expend a lot of energy on that last one. Another keeper for Roberts and a first down out close to midfield.
Yeah, that was a tackle over. They had a extra tackle on this side of the field. You take a look and see it. As they line up, you see the 2 tackles on the left side of the line. This is the short side of the field. So they have a lot of ways to exploit what they do, see how you line up, and then Carson Roberts is the key. His decision making, his choice of plays at the line of scrimmage is what makes him special.
3 wideouts in this formation, at least at the start. Brown comes in motion. They're going to throw back to Robinette, who's going to throw it himself, and the pass is knocked away, incomplete, intended for McVeigh. Well, Robinette, in a design play there, they threw it backwards to him. He took a shot downfield. That was a pretty good pass, but Darius Allensworth was right there.
Did a great job, and the pass just hung just a little bit. But they talked about this play, that they were going to do this. penalty on the play?
Second down.
Well, no penalty. Allensworth with the coverage knocked it away. This is part of the field where you start to expect some of those type plays if you're going to use one near midfield.
You're exactly right. I always had to play a trick play as soon as we crossed midfield. Another one as soon as we got in the red zone. You have those. You practice them all year. You want to use them. You play. So when we practice it, we never use it. Well, we're going to use it now. It's a bowl game.
2nd and 10. And that option, the pitch with a lot of room. Great decision by Roberts inside the 40. Garrett Brown with the first down run.
People talk about keeping your eyes right in the secondary, and the reality is when they start one way and then come with the option back the other way, you start initially, you look at where the quarterback will open up, the play end up coming to the backside. If I take 2 steps the wrong direction in the secondary, I allow the blocking angles to catch up with me.
Dive, keep, pitch, Mike. Those are the 3 options.
Yep, exactly. And I'll tell you what, they do a great job of keeping you honest.
Roberts will pitch it. That's McVay. Nice cut. McVay to the 20, to the 15. And Timothy McVay looks healthy and spry. Big gain, first down, Air Force.
And great job for Air Force coming back from that incomplete pass to put them behind the sticks. Here in a fairly short yardage situation, see what the dive, how many people it attracts, and then great blocking on the outside to free McVay up.
That's 19 more yards. Griffin, one of those blockers, I think, the tight end, who's a good player for Air Force.
He's sort of their unsung hero. He's a great receiver, especially in the red zone. He's got 3 touchdowns, but he's a great blocker. They love him, love the matchup of getting him on a linebacker.
Right, 1st and goal, Air Force. Owens gets the carry, and a nice run for Owens all the way to the goal line. Stopped a little bit short. They spot him just barely short. 2nd and goal.
And this is actually a fairly quick drive. This is only about a 3-minute drive for Air Force, but they didn't want to leave this much time on the clock. Don't be surprised if they take a couple plays to score here.
Could Troy Calhoun figure out a way to take 3 minutes and 20 seconds to get a half a yard?
That I don't think so. And as I say that, as a coach, hey, score any way you can.
I think Air Force thought they got in on that play, but no review. Roberts pushes ahead. Touchdown. Well, that was an important drive for Air Force after falling behind by 2 scores. They marched down the field and punched it in from 1 yard out with their quarterback Carson Roberts.
This is an amazing game in terms of the ebbs and flows. I keep thinking somebody's taking control, taking charge. They're starting to pull away, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's Cal or it's Air Force now stepping back up, making it a 1-possession game.
And that penalty, I mean, that was a significant call. Again, you understand Darius White's reaction, but that was huge. 10-play drive, high snap, good hold, and the kick is good. Back to a 7-point game after Roberts and Air Force go 64 yards down the field for their 3rd touchdown of the first half. Now, the junior who grew up in the Bay Area, grew up in Marin, just north of San Francisco. His mom, his dad was a great baseball player at Cal, played Major League Baseball, but both are Cal grads. And Jered grew up as a little kid going to watch Cal football, going to Memorial Stadium. So as he has said many, many times, for him coming to Cal and helping revitalize the program was a personal thing. He was all in from the time he was very little on Cal football. And I think he can be real proud about the way this program has bounced back from some very lean years.
There's no question Sonny Dykes put this program on his back the last couple of years.
Kickoff, and Davis will be the return man inside the 5. Cuts it to the right side and gets tackled at about the 21-yard line. Watson with the swing pass, complete from Goff, and a nice cut to get close to the first down. Will go down on the field to Allison Williams.
The message to this Air Force defense, you're better than you've shown so far. You have to keep playing. No one said it was going to be easy, just that it would be 60. Up front, guys, they have to find a way to get off their blocks and make a play. And the back end, I think you're really seeing the effects of them being without safety, Weston Steelhammer. He is their best player, also their vocal leader. The safeties were told you can't just go out there and play. They have to communicate. It's tough without that guy back there.
2nd and 1, and Cal's going to throw the ball on 2nd and short, and they're taking a deep shot down the field with that strong arm. Craig's in stride with the catch. And another spot where maybe they miss Weston Steelhammer inside the 15-yard line for Cal. That's 55 more yards for Jered Goff.
And you can't allow Jered Goff to stand back there this long and allow his receivers to have that much time to work one-on-one against the defenders. It's not a good situation for Air Force. They're probably going to have to dial up some pressure, try to make him get rid of the ball quickly.
Brody Hicks, the other starting safety, with the coverage, and he made the tackle, but here comes Cal. Still more than 2 minutes to go until halftime, right down the field. Goff takes the snap. Goff taking a shot, and he's got his man. Touchdown. Kenny Lawler, his 2nd of this game. And Cal is an extra point away from putting up 35 in the first half. That one from 14 yards out.
And Air Force trying to bring pressure, but the reality is the Cal offensive line right now is solving the problems and the issues with the blitz. They're blocking him very well, allowing Jered Goff to take the time to survey the field and find the wide open receiver. Nobody in his face, he can step into the ball, and great separation by Lawler on his route.
Extra point is good. 4th touchdown of the game for Jered Goff, his 41st of the season. And I think the Golden Bears have to be pleased with the way the first half went.
No question. It was up and down, but their athleticism, the matchup of their receivers against the secondary of Air Force, without a significant pass rush, Jered Goff has done a nice job.
Sonny Dykes down on the field with Allison Williams.
Coach Dykes, early on, we saw you guys run the ball a lot offensively, open things up a little bit more as the half has gone on. How would you describe the way your offense has developed here so far?
Well, we've made some big plays. We haven't executed probably as well as we'd like to. You know, we got a chance here at midfield to score at the end of the game and get sacked. We've done some good things, but we haven't been as consistent as we need to be.
Defensively, first time facing the triple option. How do you think you guys have done?
Well, we've done okay. You know, we're trying to make adjustments, and Air Force does a great job of adjusting. They always try to stay one step ahead, and, you know, they've done a good job cracking some of our guys. We've got to get an answer for that in the second half. But right now we're playing hard, and, you know, we're going to get the ball to start the second half, so it'll be good.
Sonny, thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, Allison and Coach Dykes, we appreciate that. Now time to go to Reese Davis. It's the Coke Zero halftime report. You're watching the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl as a part of Capital One Bowl Mania as we get ready to start the second half from Fort Worth, Texas. And our score, Cal out of the Pac-12 with a 35-21 lead over Air Force. Dave Fleming, Mike Bellotti back with you here. And Mike, we knew Jered Goff was going to be a handful for the Air Force defense. And I think it's fair to say that he was a handful.
There's no question. His timing, his touch, his accuracy, along with the athleticism of the wide receivers, has made it very difficult. I think we're going to hear the coaches say they need to get more pressure. Right now, they're not able to match up down the field. The biggest difference for me in this game, though, is Air Force's inability to capitalize on the play-action pass. They're 1 out of 5 passing. They've got one decent play, but they have to make more plays to supplement their run game.
Trevor Davis right near the goal line will return the kickoff to start the second half for Cal. Davis at about the 25-yard line. Let's welcome in once again Allison Williams.
Well, a focus for Air Force defensively, stopping big plays that we've seen Cal have in that first half. And while the coverage does need to be better in the back end, especially without safety Weston Steelhammer, who was ejected early in this game, Coach Calhoun told me that they actually need to get better, do a better job up front of getting that pressure and getting it home, getting to Goff and disturbing him. They've got to be better up front. As for offensively, they have to do a better job getting first downs and sustaining drives, so they need better blocking up front.
Well, thanks, Allison. And Mike, Goff's been spectacular. It has not helped that Weston Steelhammer, who might be Air Force's best defensive player, targeting penalty very early in the game and has not played since then, as Air Force forces an incomplete pass on the first play from scrimmage of the second half. This is that targeting penalty.
Yeah, and this was probably uncalled for. Didn't need to do it, and it was close, but the reality is, when in doubt, it is a penalty, and it caused the ejection. And he's their leader in the secondary, their emotional leader on defense. He and Alex Hansen are the two guys they look to for leadership, to make plays, and he's gone now. He's been gone since the first series.
Second down for Goff and the Bears. A play fake. And that one is complete to a guy who's been pretty quiet in this game. Steven Anderson, normally a big weapon for Cal. That's another Bears first down.
And that was too easy. There was no pressure whatsoever. And Anderson went across, found a hole in the zone, and Jered Goff, too accurate a quarterback to give him that much time.
It's been a while since they've been in a bowl game. One player on this roster had ever played in a bowl game. Goff takes a hit but delivers the ball perfectly. Harris along the sideline with the catch. Dexter Walker put the hit on, but Maurice Harris with another big play. That's 15 more yards, and Cal will rush to the line of scrimmage.
And Walker coming unblocked off the edge. This is why Jered Goff is a potential first-round guy, because he can throw it under pressure accurately down the field with a quick release.
He is really good against pressure. He has taken a lot of hits in his Cal career. He's got an open receiver, Harris again, who makes a nice stutter step move. That was going to be a gain of 5. Now it only got him a couple, maybe 3 extra yards, but it looked pretty.
And watch out, because Goff seems to be in a rhythm in this series. He's thrown, I think, consecutive passes on time, accurately, moving the ball right down the field. And watch out. Air Force has to do something to get him off his mark or disrupt that comfort zone.
Made that move against Roland Latipo, who is a good cover player. We haven't called his name much. I think Cal has steered their offense away from him.
He's their best cover guy and the most aggressive. And sometimes people work double move routes on him because he is aggressive on the first break.
A running play with basically nobody there, and Where he lowers the shoulder pads and gets right near and will get with the forward progress a first down.
It's an interesting play. Sometimes Cal will run that outside zone away from the way the line blocks, and it's in case the defense is keying, and really it's a naked lead play to the tailback. Good luck to him. See how brave he is.
Well, those numbers sort of speak to what we were talking about against 5-man rush, so against extra pressure. Those are spectacular numbers from Goff. He thrives in those spots.
They are, and that's why it's almost scary to try to pressure him.
He'll take a shot down the field. Hudson sort of stopped his route. Now Goff took a shot at the end of the play, and I think that's going to be a penalty against Air Force. And Jered Goff is slow to get up. He does get up.
I think he'd only get hit. I think his own guy landed on him.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 97. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
As we watch the end of the play, you can see this right here. He's going to get thrown down, and then his own guy is going to slip and fall on him, which probably wasn't. I don't think either of those were that tough. Goff, the other thing he does, he gets thrown down, but he does a great job of protecting his body to the ground. Some quarterbacks land uncomfortably, and you go, wow, that's going to hurt him. Goff a lot of times has the ability to just roll with the punches like a wrestler or a boxer coming out of something.
Well, if Coppola had just sort of shoved Goff, maybe there's no penalty flag. The fact that he body slammed him at the end of that tackle, I think, is why the flags were thrown. So they'll march off the penalty distance inside the 15-yard line down to the 12.
I think that's the first time he's got a hold of him all day. He wanted to make a statement, and obviously they're talking about you have to disrupt the playmaker for the other team. That playmaker is Jered Goff.
That is a big penalty. It's 1st and 10, not quite 1st and goal for Cal, trying to expand their 2-touchdown lead. First possession of the second half. Goff, play fake over the middle. He's got his man Powell, touchdown. 5th touchdown pass for Goff already in this game. 12 yards. That's the second one for Darius Powell. It's 41-21.
Cal pulling ahead now, and Jered Goff the catalyst for that. Watch the play fake here, then the quick release. Quick release, accurate throw, under pressure with the play fake. That's the things that make him a great quarterback.
Extra point is good. It's 42-21. And it's been Jered Goff and the Cal passing games game. They lead big over Air Force. Cal is rolling here in Fort Worth as the Bears have opened up a 42-21 lead in this Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. What other bowl do you get a helicopter at your tailgate? That's pretty cool. Kickoff time. Cal took the ball first in the second half, went right down the field, scored a touchdown, 76-yard drive. So now the Falcons of Air Force get the ball back with another good kick return, and this one very good. To the 35 and close to the 40. Brian Driscoll with the return for Air Force. Capital. pitch play to the left side, and a nice cut by Owens, sort of stuttering forward. He's going to get real close. He may well have gotten a first down.
Owens is unique for Air Force in that he was one of those halfbacks, one of those wingback type guys. They've moved him to fullback, and this year he's probably the niftiest fullback they've ever had. He's about just over 200 pounds, so not typically the size that they want, but he has a little niftiness, little shiftability, and the power to make that position be very special.
Well, just a junior. Second straight 1,000-plus rushing season for Jacoby Owens. And you're right, they were not sure how that was going to go. They lost their two very high-quality fullbacks. So they moved Owens there, who gets the carry here. It is a first down. They had spotted him about a half a yard short and more inside the 35 down to the 34.
They're lining up in an interesting formation. 9 people on the line of scrimmage, 1 quarterback, 1 tailback, and they're running. They're sort of counting and looking at where can they gain an advantage. So that was what they've done the past couple. Now they're back to their double slot, double wing look.
Roberts under center. Took a long time to get the snap. Now we'll pitch it. And a nice run for a first down and more. Still going inside the 20, inside the 15. Bryant Driscoll. That was impressive.
Nice job. One of setting the play. Carson Roberts, he changed the play at the line of scrimmage, decided which way they need to go, and then the execution of the blocks at the end man of the line of scrimmage. You see Garrett Griffin there. We talked about his blocking ability down the field, and then the ability to tiptoe the sidelines and get more yards.
And just barely stayed in bounds there, but apparently
close.
did. So Driscoll is from McKinney, Texas. Now Roberts keeps it, takes a big hit, but gets down to close to the 5-yard line. It's not quite a goal-to-go situation. Air Force can get a first down before getting into the end zone.
Down here, Roberts becomes even more important because, as we talked about, you can pick up a blocker either through the option, half a man at the point of attack, or through the fact that the quarterback becomes a ball carrier. Everybody else can block for him.
Ninth play of the drive. Pitch to Owens, right side with a block out in front of the ball, comes out, and then it rolls out of bounds. And they're going to say it's a touchback. So it rolled out of bounds behind the pylon. If it had rolled out at the half-yard line.
The ruling on the field is the player fumbled the ball into the end zone. Therefore, it is a touchback.
Wow.
First down, California.
A terrible break for Air Force. That difference of behind or in front of the pylon meant 3rd and goal Air Force. Instead, it's a turnover.
As we see it from this angle, there's only chance as if his body hit down, but it was ripped out there while he was still going. That's exactly the definition of a touchback. Goes through the end zone and out of bounds. As you said, Dave, difficult, huge break for Cal and against Air Force.
So that's Air Force's 2nd turnover. They knew they couldn't have those kind of mistakes. That one hurts as they were about to go in. Instead, Cal gets the ball back. Stephen McClure forces the turnover. We'll be back after this. 5 receivers, no backs. Goff all alone in the shotgun.
Spread them out, and then do you blitz or do you play some type of coverage? They have not got to Goff but one time today.
They bring some pressure. The throw is perfect. Powell with the catch and run. What a move to midfield. Gets a block to the outside and all the way down inside the 40. Spotted out of bounds. Almost right near that divot of Kenny Lawler at the 36-yard line. A gain of 44.
That's the best Powell has looked today. You can see him right there, just beat the guy over the top. And a perfectly thrown pass. We talk about the fact that Goff could put it on the back shoulder of the defender where he can't see it, only receiver can, and then nice run after catch by Powell.
Goff already has 5 touchdowns. He will hand it off again to Muhammad, right side running for a gain of a yard or so. So 381 yards, 5 touchdowns. We're still in the 3rd quarter. His career high, Jered Goff, with all the huge numbers that he's put up in his Cal career, is 6 in a single game.
I'd say that's in danger, especially where they're at right now, because they love to take the play action shots when they get in the red zone.
Eighth play of the drive coming up.
Diamond formation has been a max protection formation for them.
With that extra tight end plus the big fullback McMorris, they hand it off out of that formation. Watson, tough running, broke a tackle, got tripped up at about the 12, so a couple yards short of a first down.
Great running by Watson. They talked about he's the best practice player that they have. He's become a one-cut guy, but that was power running right there, running through tackles. They're keying the safety. They get a safety down in the box to match the power formation, they're going to throw the ball deep. If not, they'll be comfortable to run the ball.
Big number 99 still in there. They'll play fake. Goff to the end zone and incomplete. Good play on the ball by the Air Force defense. And that's Latipo. They have not gone after him, and maybe that plays an example why he's a good player.
No, that was great timing because this was in the receiver's hands, but great job by the DB. Watch him go up through the hands, knock the ball out, just continue to fight, and that's all legal, and that's what a cornerback is taught to do, is read through the eyes and hands of the receiver.
Another really good pass by Goff, but Hansen could not hang on after Latipo knocked it away. So Matt Anderson from 29 yards. Field goal try, good snap and hold. The kick is also good. So it's 45-21. Cal expands the lead with 2:44 to go in the third quarter. Do you let yourself as an athlete start to think about that as the game goes on? This is the last time I'm playing in this uniform.
I think you do. I think there's no question that you do, but I think you also say, if this is my last game, I want to go out on top. I want to play special. I want to make something happen.
Air Force will get the ball back. I found it interesting that when we were spending some time last night with Mac Brown, you were just lording it over him, that in the Holiday Bowl matchup, Oregon-Texas many years ago, you took down the Longhorns.
Yeah, I was not lording it over him. I couldn't remember the score. He corrected me on the score about 4 or 5 times. I do know we won, and it was a very close game.
See, you won. You didn't need to remember the details. He lost. He remembers every detail.
That's true. Statistics are for losers. Is that what they say?
No. I hope he heard that. See, just piling on.
He just tweeted me right then.
Yeah. 2 minutes to go plus here in the third quarter. Dave Fleming, Mike Pilati, Allison Williams from Fort Worth. Roberts will pitch it. And a nice push up front. First down carry for Brian Driscoll. One of the younger players, and for Air Force, sometimes a junior is a younger player. But this is an offense, this is a system where it's always been the upperclassmen who have dominated the carries, dominated the production. But with all the injuries they've had at those ball carrying spots, some of these younger guys have played very well.
Well, and nowadays I think most teams have play people young. Don't redshirt them. I mean, I know that you can't sometimes, but the reality is everybody's got to be ready to play, and they work hard. Let's find a way.
Wide open, and the pass is complete. McVay will go all the way. Touchdown, Air Force. 57 yards. They don't throw it often. When they do, they throw it deep.
There's the play action shot that we talk about. It's hard to keep your eyes right all the time in the secondary. Started with a little bit of a play fake. They were looking a receiver on the curl. They ran a guy right down the middle of the field. Nobody covered him. And obviously when you're trying to defend the run, you get lulled to sleep a little bit against this offense.
So McVay, the halfback, with the catch. 57 yards, just a 3-play drive. He scored 9 out of their last 13 touchdowns as a team.
He's been hot lately.
Yeah.
The games I watched prior to this, he stood out to me as the guy that was making that offense go.
And he is just a sophomore, so he definitely counts as a young player. Air Force is going for 2. Roberts under center, will toss it, and they get the 2-point conversion rather easily with Jacoby Owens.
Yeah, so to explain that a little bit further, and if they cut it to 16, they get 2 more, and you're going to see that opportunity again if Cal's things stand at 45, but because they'll be going for 2 8-point touchdowns to tie this game.
Yeah,
smart idea.
I think it was the right decision. Now the tough part will be holding Cal at that 45 number, but first things first, they convert on the 2-point play. Davis, the kick return. Davis to the 30. And outside the 35, tackled at about the 38-yard line. Jered Goff, Hardy Nickerson, lots of these Cal players, when we were chatting with them leading into this game, said how painful it's been the last few years to sit and be a fan and watch all these bowl games just sitting at home. So you know they're relishing the chance to play in this one. How about another deep ball and another catch for Bryce Treggs? Even with pressure, Jered Goff, just a perfect delivery. 41 more yards. He's up over 400 for the game.
He had to throw this one a little bit sooner than he wanted because they did get a little bit of pressure coming off the edge, but he's putting this ball out here. Treggs, he gets a hand on it, cannot keep his feet quite enough to get in the end zone.
Maybe an example of some of that footwork you were talking about with Goff as well.
He's so smooth. He makes it look effortless to make the play fake, to load his arm, to throw the ball down the field with accuracy. It's amazing, and that's why people look at him for the next level.
So there's their token run play. Now they can go back to throwing it.
Yeah, and that token run is just to keep the defense thinking if I show run, you have to defend the run, and it still creates the one-on-one matchups down the field that Goff is going to take advantage of.
Treggs, who I don't think he wanted to come out of the game, looking in sort of the scoring zone for another touchdown. He's up over 140 yards in his final game at Cal. Goff looked left, now throws right. Great delivery. Lawler will go all the way. Kenny Lawler, touchdown. That's his third of the game. This one from 25 yards. You know, you also talked about the eyes of Goff. I think he did it to the defense there with his look.
Well, he looked it off. Plus, it was a blitz situation. They ran the jailbreak screen. They ran it to perfection. And Lawler, we talked about his range. He makes a great catch on this. The pass is thrown a little bit high because there's pressure, but he reels it in and then reels in a touchdown run beyond that.
So he's got 3 of the 6 from Goff, who's now matched his single game career high. We got a quarter more to go. Extra point is good. It's 52-29. So Goff and Cal, the passing game has been really, really impressive. And this is a guy who took his share of lumps. He made a lot of plays as a true freshman, but they admittedly just totally threw him into the fire. And he took a beating as a freshman. He was much smaller. He's not a huge guy anyway, at least in terms of bulk and stature. And he survived that and got better because of it.
It was a calculated risk, and Sonny Dykes was willing to take that risk because he knew there would be reward at the end of it.
Air Force gets the ball back and well defended the dive play. Cal's done that all game long. That has not really been there for Air Force, and that will be the final play of the third quarter. Well, we've seen Jered Goff and his skilled players all over the field shine in this one. 1 quarter away from a bowl win for the Golden Bears. Cal and Air Force, 1 quarter to go, 52-29. As Air Force has the ball, 15 minutes to go in this one. Cal with the 52-29 lead.
Air Force looking to score quick as they did last time. And they're doing a pretty good job getting that ball on the edge. That toss sweep, that pitch play for them has been the most effective play in their offense today.
Well, for Air Force, their injured quarterback, Nate Romine, who started the beginning of the year, then got hurt. The way it works at the Air Force Academy, he had to stop out from school essentially. So he left school for this semester. Just in a few days, he'll be back at the academy as a full-time student. They will apply for a medical red shirt, and they should have him for 2 more years starting next football season, as Roberts playing his final game with a nice delivery for a first down to Jalen Robinette, who is not shut out today. It had been a quiet end of the season for him.
First catch in 3 games, though, and he's the guy that they really would love to put the ball in his hands down the field because he's a tough matchup. But that's the first time they've been able to get him the football in 3 games.
Roberts with the keeper out into the open. Nice gain. And all the way down to about the 31-yard line. Well,
obviously good field position. This drive started, and I don't know that they're going to settle for field goals. I think they have to get touchdowns at this point in the game. But remember, one of their drives, too, ended up being fumbled through the end zone for a touchback. So Air Force has moved the ball relatively well on the ground.
I think that's the point you've made often in this game, as The dive play to Jacoby Owens. Cal's defended that one very well today. Gain of a yard. The Air Force is up close to 400 yards of offense. They have 29 points on the board, and even the 29 points with a couple bad breaks, it could easily be more points than that. The offense has not been the problem at all.
No, and they've done a great job, and they've figured out what Cal is taking away and then obviously what they can exploit. And typically it's been on the outside of that defense, the perimeter.
2nd and 9. Roberts, play fake. And that one was a little bit high, incomplete. Robinette back in the game. Remember, he left banged up on the last drive. Couldn't quite catch that one.
Difficult, wide open on that pass, thrown a little bit behind him. Carson Roberts doesn't claim to be the most pure passer in the world, but he's a great combination of a runner, a passer, the decision maker at the line of scrimmage. And he stepped in when Roman got hurt early in the season. Has done a very nice job leading him this year.
Robinette was disappointed in himself. I think most receivers feel like get your hands on the ball, make the catch. Sort of a fake option. Robinette, that's exactly what he does there. Got his hands on it. Nice delivery from Roberts. 1st down, Air Force.
Yeah, I think that was probably a tougher catch in a lot of respects than the one that he couldn't corral earlier. This low one here comes across, and you see him getting down low, focus on the ball, and got the 1st down yardage, which was the key in any reception.
The Air Force coming to the line of scrimmage a little more quickly than usual with time running out, under 10 minutes to go. Another play fake. Roberts rolling, looking, and he just had nowhere to go with the ball. Well covered by Cal.
Yeah, he had Robinette early. He had to throw it on time, though, on a post break. The other safety was coming over, so he wisely threw the ball away. They need to get points out of this drive, and rather than put it up for grabs, I think it's very important.
So Robinette had the good catch on the play before. This time it was a fan.
Nice job. They might recruit that guy.
If it hits your hands, you're supposed to catch it.
Was he wearing gloves?
No, I don't think so.
Some of those gloves now, I think they're so sticky, they catch the ball by themselves.
Not that guy. He doesn't need any gloves.
We don't need no stinking gloves. Come on.
That's the handoff to Owens. Marty Nickerson in on the tackle.
And as you said, they have done a great job of canceling the dive today. And I think we talked to Sonny Dykes, and he said, what is our goal on defense? It is stop the dive.
Bowl win. Cal looking for their first bowl win since 2009 here in the 4th quarter with a 52-29 lead over Air Force. If they're able to hold on, they'll be able to hoist the Armed Forces Bowl trophy, and it's a hefty one, weighing in at 60 pounds. And it's a pretty unique trophy because it's actually made from combat-tested metal and steel from all 5 branches of the United States Armed Forces. It's supposed to represent strength, honor, heroism, and sacrifice. A pretty unique trophy here for the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Guys.
Well, thank you, Allison. Not quite Cal's just yet. Air Force with the strike from Roberts to Robinette. His first touchdown catch of the game. It's 52-35. And now Air Force is going to kick the point after, not go for 2. Second touchdown pass for Carson Roberts.
Robinette breaking out in a big way, held without a catch for 2 games in a row, and he's just become a guy now that could bring them back.
Well, 7-play drive took 2 minutes. Air Force knows they have to go more up-tempo than they like to, and they did that time for the touchdown pass.
Yeah, you can see the play fake here, and then Robinette on the crossing route. The safety falls down. They influence him with the guy crossing his face, and a nice pass. Very accurate throw by Roberts, and nice catch and finish by Robinette.
The last time these two teams met in this bowl game, it was all the way back in 2007. Cal was down 21-0 in that game, and they came from behind and won. So there's at least some history. Again, different teams, different circumstance. Cal will return it across the 30, close to the 35-yard line. Cal was definitely expecting an onside kick.
Probably snapped that ball under 10 seconds, I would think, for sure. Maybe under 5.
Yeah, they snap it with about 3 to go on the play clock and hand it off to Muhammad again. Another nice run to midfield and down to the Air Force 48-yard line.
We talked about the fact that both Nweri and Muhammad down the stretch have become great running backs, and they use them all. Trey Watson started the game. Lasko was the big guy last year, but they've got depth at both running back and wide receiver. Problem is there's only one football.
Watson with the first down run. Nowhere to go. Stop for no gain. Timeout. Air Force, I mean, really, in some ways, doesn't matter when you use them. Stop the clock, save that time. So Air Force burns one. We'll take a timeout ourselves. Cal leading 52-36. Goff will throw back to his left and complete the pass out into the open with a nice burst of speed. Trevor Davis got stopped close, but again, depending on the spot, I think, well, no, they're going to say first down. He got there.
Nice job. Nice execution. A sprint out, throwback screen. Somewhat dangerous. One of the D linemen almost read that and tried to pick it off. He couldn't quite get there.
Well, the comeback win against Arizona State, which was impressive, and Jered said maybe the most memorable game of his Cal career, and now this one against Air Force. That's 2 games.
Yeah, that's not a bad 2-game stretch.
Over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdown passes. They'll hand the ball off, and Wary. A gain of a couple, and now Troy Calhoun will use that final timeout. Jered Goff in the shotgun. They're going to pitch. Trevor Davis with Goff throwing a block. In fact, throwing 2 blocks. Davis will be pushed out of bounds at the 19-yard line. So his Cal career may be coming to an end, but Jered Goff is still sticking his nose in there.
And Coach Dykes going to use him any way he can. He ran the quarterback power today. Now he becomes the lead blocker on the reverse and actually gets a piece of a guy twice. That's pretty good. But now getting back down to business, is it time to throw the ball? Come on. 3rd and short.
If there was a sliver of doubt, hey, my coach is using me as a blocker here, maybe I should go to the NFL draft.
Yeah. That might persuade him that way.
1 touchdown, he ties the all-time bowl record. They will hand the ball off. Watson, close. This could determine whether they have a chance to tie. They didn't get there. It's 4th down. I cannot imagine that Cal would go for it.
The question.
Well, one official said 4th down, stuck the fist up and said no, and then the head referee came in and said first down.
Okay.
So I think the Air Force sideline is wondering what just happened there. What happened is Cal gets the first down. And on first down, they'll give it to Watson again.
Basically, Air Force is daring Cal to throw the ball. They're in the diamond formation, and they have a 9-man box coming after them. Receivers are 1-on-1 on the outside. So it'll be interesting to see. This is an interesting dilemma for Coach Dykes in terms of running out the clock, running up to score, getting your quarterback maybe another record-setting touchdown pass.
We knew there'd be offense in this game. We've had better than 1,000 total yards, just over 1,000 total yards on both sides. Air Force has 418 yards of offense.
Yeah, normally 36 points and 418 yards of offense is a pretty good show. But today, Cal is one-upping them.
12th play of this drive, just what Cal wanted to try to shorten this game. It'll be 3rd down. Well, maybe now. 3rd and long. One last shot to the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Dykes has done a great job today in this regard. That drive right there took a ton of time off the clock, and now he's made it. He's probably sealed the game in this regard. So I'm not sure what his mindset's going to be in terms of that potential tying touchdown pass.
It's been over 7 minutes that Cal's had the ball, so that's exactly what they wanted. Trying to end this game and get the bowl victory on 3rd and 9. A handoff. So the record, I don't think, is important to Goff or Dykes or the Bears.
And they may not know about it, in all honesty. A lot of times coaches on the sideline don't think about those things, don't worry about those things. If somebody upstairs doesn't tell them, they're worried about what's the down and distance right now on this play. How do I win this football game? How do I protect my player?
And instead of kicking a field goal, could be on 4th down. Cal could take the clock all the way down, use their last timeout. They could also just hand the ball off once again. So they will kick a field goal with Matt Anderson. Kick is up and good. Well, Jered Goff, and I think everybody knows it on that Cal sideline. 6 touchdowns. Let's see them all. Why not?
Yeah, let's take a look. Here's the first one over the top, right in the corner to Treggs. Really nice throw. This play action. Finds Powell over the middle. Going deep, right in that window to his favorite receiver, Lawler. Found him again. Nice easy throw there. And then a great throw under pressure. There's some duress. And then the screen, which was an unintended dividend in a sense. Easy throw, nice run.
With a record-type performance from him in his final game with the Bears. Air Force still has 1:11, and I think Air Force deserves credit for the way their season has gone. Look, we saw San Diego State against Cincinnati in a bowl game absolutely destroy Cincinnati. Air Force took San Diego State right down to the end of the Mountain West Conference Championship game. Air Force has had a lot of injuries this year, and yet here they are, not only in a bowl game, 8-win team, nearly a conference championship. I think they have a lot to be proud of.
Troy Calhoun is a tremendous football coach and does a great job with the talent available to him. He beat a Boise team that gave up 33 yards to their opponent in the bowl season. So I agree with you. I think that Air Force is a tremendous team, does a great job, and is really a great competitive team.
How about this one down the field, incomplete, intended for the tight end, Garrett Griffin. Didn't get a lot of chances, is a good player.
Oh, that was a great throw by Carson Roberts. That was right on the money down the field. The one thing about Air Force, they're never going to give up. They're going to fight tooth and nail to the end.
Well, the football careers of many of these Falcons coming to an end today, but that does not mean their Air Force careers are coming to an end. Far from it.
No, they're going to go on active duty and serve our country and do a great job. And Coach Calhoun detailed some of the things that their typical day, and it's a little bit beyond what most college students think about.
Pitch it to the left side, Owens, who will get stopped at the 40-yard line, short of a first down, under a minute to go from Fort Worth.
They've used all their timeouts, so this is just a question of trying to continue to move the ball and maybe get a score, but continue to fight.
3rd and 2. Roberts to Robinette for an Air Force first down across midfield. Again, that trophy ceremony presented by Capital One follows on ESPN3. When we're done here, we'll get you to the Russell Athletic Bowl, North Carolina, Baylor. Roberts being pressured. Roberts will be sacked. And that could be it. Cal thinks it is. They're ready to celebrate. And I think Air Force is just going to let the time wind off the clock. If that's it, what a finish for Jered Goff as Cal beats Air Force by the final score of 55-36. So the Bears, with their 8th win of the year, that wraps it up for all of us here in Fort Worth. Now off to the Russell Athletic Bowl. North Carolina, Baylor next.